WKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I always get looked at like, dude, why are you taking so long? Why ain't you ready? Why? It's part of the going and go, right? You gotta just go, and then you start moving, and you don't stop till 6 o'clock. Every single time that I've come in early, or Tori's remote or something, and I decide to come in and sit in here early, I end up having the music turned down or the sound turned down, and then they're looking at me like, the theme stopped and you're going already, and I'll just forget. So rather than do that, I come in with like a minute. I think I do it almost every day. A minute, 23 minutes. A minute, 23 minutes. Duh. A minute and 23 seconds left to go. And I have just enough time to plug this in, put that over there, plug my headphones in, turn this up, and then I'm done. Because for me, habit is like more important, like taking time and going through the steps. Do I always get the steps right? No. But going through the steps helps me remember all the things that I do. And going through the steps helps me remember this is why this is important, right? Because not everybody likes change. Not everybody likes to do things different, or they find fault in change. They find issues, not because they have an issue with the change, they have an issue either with the institution or with the person. And I think when a person is forthcoming, and I've been accused of being too direct, which I don't really understand what that is. I've been accused by my tone of being overbearing, or what's the word? Well, not overbearing. Mean. Mean. And so many times I have to stop and take a step back and understand where people are coming from. Now, some people are coming from places where I just disagree. And we seem to have this thing in the black community that we can't disagree. That everybody has to be on one page. That everybody has to look alike, be alike, talk alike, walk alike, all that stuff. Now, when you think about the institutions where black people bash the crap out of people that are the same race and ethnicity, African American, it's voting. If you don't toe the Democrat line 110%, people will basically rip your eyeballs out and tear your head off your shoulders and throw it into a trash compactor. I was thinking shredder, but that might have been a little bit too much for your mind. And so as I'm doing show prep, I just read constantly. I listen to the radio constantly, 24 hours a day. I listen to business. I listen to news. I listen to news updates. I listen to everything. I listen to CNN, Fox, whatever network, ABC, whatever network is playing news. I go from one to the other, to the other, to the other. And you start to see a pattern of stories and a pattern of the way that they present stories. And so when there's an assumption that when things are black, they have to be left-leaning, Democrat-leaning. They can never, ever espouse something that's religious or even Christian. You can be religious as long as you're not Christian. And then you get bashed and talked about and, called all sorts of names and things like that, which is kind of okay. If you've been doing it for 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years, what's another day? What's another minute? But it's like people woke up and they're finding new ways to trash people. TheRoot.com has a story published today by Angela Johnson. Church starts taking offerings via credit card, Apple Pay, and Black Twitter erupts. Some thinks it's easier when you don't have cash on hand. Others believe it's all one big money grab. The article goes like this. If you grew up in church, you know that when the collection plate comes around, it's time to dig deep into your heart and your wallet to make a cash contribution. Or, might I add, it's a time for reflection, recognizing what Scripture says about giving, and decide whether or not you're going to tithe or give an offering. So for you to generalize and make this just the collection plate, you miss the point of giving. But as carrying cash has become a lot less common, churches are trying to meet members where they are. Now, a post on X of church members using a credit card reader to make donations has a lot of people talking. I've never seen a credit card reader in a church. I'm sure some people have it to pay for stuff. I'm sure if you want to buy paraphernalia, stuff like that, and they have a for-profit part of their church, they have to do that to keep it separate. But I digress. The article goes on to say the April 5th post tagged this church has been receiving backlash after footage leaked. It leaks now? Of them accepting offerings by credit card shows churchgoers using Apple, Google Pay on devices and pulling out their credit cards, which were probably debit cards, as the offering machines passed. The location of the church hasn't been revealed, but the post has received over 1 million views and has left viewers divided on whether or not it's okay to tap and go your tithe. How about it's none of your business? How about every time something about the church comes up, you start acting foolish and want to get upset about something that, one, you don't attend, you don't go, and you don't know anything about. So keep your opinion, right, out in the public where, you can say what you want and do what you want. go where you want to go. But I'm speaking for Christian folk. We don't care what you think. Some commenters, this is the article again, thought the idea of a church having a credit card option was way more convenient than worrying about keeping cash on hand for their Sunday offering. Now, you and I both know most people carry debit cards and or a credit card. So for you to make the assumption that it's just a credit card is like people are going into debt for church. Do some people? Sure. They also go into debt for trips around the world they can't afford. They go into debt for cars they can't afford, houses they can't afford. I guess that's okay. You can give your money to a bank. God forbid if you actually give it to the church. And most of the people complaining have no idea what tithing is for and why you would tithe. But I digress. Others point out that automated donations are nothing new, as many churches and nonprofits use like Tithely and Giftify to make giving easier for congregants and bookkeeping easier for church. The problem isn't the credit card machine. This is what some commenter wrote. It's publicly passing it around to shame or guilt people into tithing. They should have a few tablets and cash boxes in the back. Keep it optional. It is optional. Who's the knuckle brain? Yes, I didn't call somebody an idiot or stupid. I said knuckle brain. Who's the knuckle brain? I don't even know what a knuckle brain is. Who's a knuckle brain? Who sits here and says you're trying to guilt people? I have never been guilted into giving a dime to anybody for any reason in church. And if you are, you're probably in the wrong church. You're in the wrong church. You're not going to make me give a dime. I'm going to give it because I want to give it. And if your constitution, if your heart, if your soul, if your mind isn't strong enough, don't go. But there's still some who are skeptical about the idea of using credit cards at the collection plate, pointing the finger at mega churches they believe see Sunday service as one big money grab. One commentator wrote, and that's exactly why I don't do the church thing. They're all in it for the money. Joel Osteen and Kenneth Copeland are perfect examples that it's all for the money. And here's the weird part about it. Did any of these people ever go to a church, give, and then check to see what they gave the money to, check the budget, check anything? No, they didn't. Because it's easier to complain and be a keyboard warrior on social media to talk about something you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I don't even think anybody could tell me, I'm being a little facetious when I say this, what tithing is actually for in a church or synagogue or a mosque. What is tithing actually for? What does it even mean? Why do you give it? And what's the difference between a tithe and an offering? Because most people can't tell you. All they want to do is complain because they hate the church. Well, I'm sorry to help you. I'm here to stand up for it. And if you don't like it, 833-212-1017. You tell me why people shouldn't tithe. You tell me why people shouldn't give to something they care about. You tell me why people shouldn't share with an organization that then will share with others. But that's the problem. I believe you forgot what got you here because you moved away from church, and now you like living your life the way you want to live it. But every now and then, God will give you a smack back to help you remember and realize. But when it comes to giving, especially with other people, that's none of your business. You can have a great idea, great words on how you hate it and what you don't like, but it's almost embarrassing to listen to people complain about something they don't even understand. That's why I don't give. I'm pretty sure, watch this, you ready? You could go to a church for a year and never give, and nobody would notice. And actually, nobody would care. So that's probably why you don't go to church. Most people say they don't go because it's a hypocrite. Well, that's where you belong. World is full of hypocrites, and so is church. If you're looking for perfection, you should probably die. Everything will be perfect after that. So at some point, what is your expectation? What are you looking for when you say, I don't go to church? Or what are you avoiding? 3 suggestions for you. For all you naysayers who hate church and hate giving and hate doing things and just hate. But yet when somebody turns it against you or doesn't like you or your lifestyle or what you're doing, all of a sudden, oh my God, you're not diverse. You're not inclusive. Church was never inclusive, ever. It is not. And that's just how life is. But I got 3 suggestions for you. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. When you try to find it, this will be the title of the hour. This will be the title in the podcast, so you ain't got to look at it. If somebody got an issue with what I'm saying, 833-212-101 saying, I'd love to hear it. 3 simple things. Don't go, don't give, and don't talk.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call, That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call, That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call, That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
The Alpha Phi Alpha Delta Chi Lambda 7 Jewels Foundation Incorporated has supported over 125 young men through the Young Gentlemen's Scholarship Botillion.
We're asking for your support to help continue this important work and empower the next generation of leaders. Through this program, young men receive mentorship, personal development, and scholarships to achieve their dreams.
We need your help to raise over $20,000 in scholarships, including a $5,000 grand prize.
Call 414-364-2835 to make a difference today. Support the Botillion, invest in the future of our young men.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Hey, want to talk to you about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's lots of buzz surrounding the draft. It's going on right now. Last I saw, they were in number 36. I don't think they were still round one or what all that other stuff going on. But you won't see drafts seeping through Pella's windows and doors. In fact, you should make Pella your number one pick, because right now you can take advantage of no interest financing options or free glass upgrades. Their talented designers and installers can make your unique home through seamless customizations. I mean, think about that. It doesn't matter if you have a new house, an old house. They can take your house, add windows, add doors. You won't even notice they were new. It'll look like they were there from the very beginning. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends April 30th. Today is April 8th. So you got, 20 some odd days, 22 days, 21 days, all that, depending on how you count. So place your free in-home consultation. You ain't got to pay nothing. You ain't got to do nothing. They will come to you. All you got to do is go to PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. 833-212-1017 is the number. During my Dr. Ken's Truth, I was talking about tithing, and people always talk about they hate the church, and and sometimes I just want to ask people why. Like, what happened to you that you just hate something so much? I believe, this is me, the non-licensed, non-trained, I think I've only taken like 2 or 3 psychology courses in my entire life. I believe that people like to hold on to trauma. And I don't like using the word trauma because now everything is trauma. Oh, it's trauma. Oh, it's trauma. Everybody got issues. Everybody got problems. What are you doing? Once people understand that certain things that happen in your life are called life, it's not trauma. Traumatic scene for me is something that you can't get over and you struggle with every day. That's trauma. Trauma? Because somebody hurt your feelings? That's not trauma. Trauma that you hold on to for so long that it starts to wear you out, that's traumatic. And so when things happen they were traumatized. Yes, they were. Are they traumatized to the point where it'll ruin their life? See, here's my thing. Once you get over a certain age, trauma should not be a word used regarding you. It was traumatic for me. You 60-something years old. You better suck it up and move on. Get over it. But then things can happen earlier in life, like in your 30s, that will cause you to live through it and be a much stronger, more resilient person. But then there are other things that can happen to you as a child that will cause you to actually be traumatized. The girl that got bit by the dog at Mayfair, she's gonna be traumatized. But it depends on how it happened. Was she around the dog? All that, right? Regardless of that, she'll probably be a little squeamish around dogs. Or dogs that look like the one that bit her. That kind of thing. I see that as trauma. Becoming homeless when you're in your 40s because you didn't pay your bills and you went out partying and now you traumatized because you're homeless, I don't think so. And we're not lumping all homeless people together in one group either. Some people are homeless because of unfortunate circumstances. Some people are homeless because they caused it themselves. And then some people are homeless because they choose to be homeless. But we have such a group mentality, we just treat everybody the same. We do the same thing with church. Yeah, they're all the same. They all charlatans. They all steal stuff. You got to remember, in some cases, the pastor's job, that's all they have. That's all they do. And the government allows for certain things because that's what you do. And because we have freedom of religion and freedom of expression, which includes religion, there are certain things they can do and certain privileges they have that some of us don't. Now, if you want the privilege, be a preacher. If you don't. But don't complain about it. Don't complain about rich people who are billionaires. Ho, 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 ho. Look at Elon Musk. He lost $150 billion. Right, he's only got 300 left over. Like, really? What's the number you get to that you have in terms of income where things just stop impacting you? They just stop. Like when you wake up tomorrow, I want to be in a place where I look at Glenn and go, hey, Glenn, you know, man, we should do our show from the Vatican tomorrow. Let's go to Rome. Leave here, get on an airplane, get a visa, get a passport, boop, and we're in Rome. And 24 hours from now, at 4:25 in the afternoon, we're doing a show live from Rome. That means you have money you don't have to really think about. For me, that'll get me to Chicago. Hey, I think I'll go to Chicago. And then I get on a plane and if you fly to Chicago, you're in trouble anyway. An hour and a half later, you're in Chicago. Right? Like, what do you use as your barometer or your measure for success? Well, for the church, it's membership. And a number of other things. But as populations change and grow, the technology grows too. So you're actually beefing about somebody using Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, or Apple Pay to pay a tithe or give an offering? Dumb. No, I'm not calling the person dumb. I'm saying what they think is dumb, while I'm fully admitting I said some dumb things and done some dumb things too. 833-212-1017. Do you agree that churches are just here to steal your money? Or are there some good, phenomenal ministries out there? Because I have one. I also have haters of the church I go to. I mean, straight haters. Sitting there, I heard they got this and that and this and that. And I said, really? Yep, they got this and that. And I was like, oh my God, really? Yeah. Because I don't know, since 1996, which would make it what? 30 years? And I ain't never seen that. I heard they got cash machines in that church. And when you want to give, you could go to the cash machine and get cash out and give it. Really? Oh, wow. I've never, ever, ever been in a church in my entire life. And I've been in churches in multiple states of the Union. Arizona, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, New York, D.C., California, Seattle, Washington, but I ain't never seen a cash machine. Black and white churches. But when people get it in their mind, and the weird part about it, the person was talking about the church that I attended for the last 30 years. Oh, they got cash machines? Really? Oh, wow. That's amazing. You know what's really amazing about it? Yeah, they don't have any cash machines. Idiocy. Stealing money. I always want to blame. Who are the first two things people blame when something go wrong? Black people and church. That's amazing. The one thing we had during and after slavery that gave us most of the intellect, the education, the wisdom, the fight, the resilience to be where we are today, we trash it because we believe we've come of age and we don't need that. And that's what scares me about this current generation who believes they don't need church. Because what's going to happen is when there's not that gathering place and they've shut down all these other entities of yours. And if you think HBCUs are not on the list, you better guess again. You think Hispanic serving institutions aren't on the list? You better guess again. It's coming. And I hope the words ring in your ears about all those people who cling to their guns and religion. When they come in your house, put your gun down and keep the words, oh God, out of your vocabulary. 833-212-1017 is the number. James, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ken. I have a question. Start out with a question first. Do you believe right now? Well, I'm gonna say what a little bit we know about the Bible, because I don't think nobody knows it all. But
right,
you believe we live in the New Testament times or Old Testament times, according to a little bit we know about the Bible?
New Testament times.
Okay, New Testament times. So the New Testament times. So then, what do you think the scripture, "Give not grudgingly or of necessity, for the Lord loves a cheerful giver"?
Right.
Where do you think that fits in our life right now today? How does that apply to us today, you think, in your opinion?
I can only speak for me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, I separate giving of a tithe from, well, no, let me rephrase that. I separate giving from tithing.
Okay.
Tithing is you give your 10% for the upkeep of the church. And that if you do, you trust that pastor or that deacon board or whatever to use it judiciously and efficiently so that they can take care of the upkeep of the church. Now, if you go there and you take advantage of parking, you take advantage of using the bathroom, you take advantage of the pews, I would think you would want the upkeep of that to continue. And in order for it to continue, if people follow scripture of the Christian Bible, it says God would want you to tithe 10% of your gross. That's it. You're not, now that's a request. You're not obligated. It's a request. If you don't, the world's not going to fall in and, you're not going to turn upside down and turn into a pumpkin. But when it comes to giving, that's the over and above. We want to go help homeless people. We want to go minister to people that are in prison who have turned their life over, and now they want to hear the word, and, we got to pay for your car or we got to pay for your gas. Giving over and above. That's where God says he loves a cheerful giver. If you feel like you want to give to that, give. But if you're giving begrudgingly, well, everybody else giving for the birthday, I guess I'll give. Don't give.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give.
Right. It's in vain. It's in vain in that case.
Right.
So let me ask you a question. Okay, back in Malachi then, what was the purpose of the tithing? What was the purpose of the tithing back then in Malachi?
Because that's what they were told to do, because you lived under the law. The law said to give.
But it says, hold on, let me get it right. I had the way the scripture go.
Mm-hmm.
So okay,
would a man rob God? Right.
The man rob God. Okay, but it be meat in my house.
Right. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house, and prove me now here with saying the Lord of hosts that I will.
Okay, right.
Give you a blessing.
So.
Right. But remember, living under the law is tit for tat. You give this, I do that. That's how God operated. You do this, I'm going to do that. You do this, I'm going to do that. Tit for tat. You lived under the law. You follow the law, you're blessed. You don't follow the law.
That's the Mosaic law, yes.
Right. Whereas,
law. No forgiveness or nothing like
correct.
that. Right.
Now we live under grace.
Okay. So, but back then, wasn't tithes brought to the storehouse where nobody had any want for need?
Correct.
Meaning that if you brought your wheat and I brought my corn,
and you need some corn and the other guy needs some wheat, y'all just trade it. Right.
Right. So do you think it's still that way with the church, like right now today, when you say meet my house, meaning that I'm gonna give you a hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's at least one. So I'm not gonna bash the church, because everybody that's called, that say they were called, not called, we know that already.
That is true.
Everybody say they're preachers, not a preacher already.
Correct.
I know that already too, without a doubt. So I guess my thing is this: when it comes to the church, right? I guess I'm wondering, like, they give away a lot of food and stuff like that and everything, and a lot of times the food they give away is sometimes donated to the church, and they give away whatever they do. But I guess I'm trying to see, like, when it comes to the city of Milwaukee, like, what is the church really known for in the city of Milwaukee, as far as, like, the Bible tells us conform the world to the church. So I guess I'm looking at where's that being done, or where is that being practiced, as far as conforming the world to the church, because the church will be a body of baptized believers, not so much the building you're going to.
Right. But that's normally what people say. But scripture already. But it also says, forsake not the assembling one with another. So it's both.
And what is that for?
Well, it's both.
Why do you do that?
It's both, so that iron can sharpen iron, so that you can learn the word and learn and grow. Right. So it's actually, I think people forget that it's not one or the other. It's actually both. It's you trying to make the separation and the decision when you can actually do both. Stay at home when you feel like staying at home. Come to church when you feel like coming to church. Like at some point, it's just a base thing. But instead of me taking responsibility for it, I'm going to throw it on the church.
Okay. And so when it says not forsaking not the sin of yourself, that's pretty much where, again, we go back to the iron sharpen iron.
Right.
Christians encourage each other to go out and continue to do the work of the Lord. Because if you're truly doing the work of the Lord, if I can use an analogy, you kind of get drained like a battery.
Right.
So we come together to get recharged again, to go right back out in the hedges of highways, do the same work over and over again. Okay.
One of the women said it. One of the women said it in one of the commercials with Carrie Noni. She said, you know, when we talk about your cup running over, we forget that the cup is for us. The overflow is for everybody else. All you're doing is trying to fill your cup. The problem is we give in our community so much of our cup that we end up with nothing.
And we get bitter.
Yep.
Yeah, behind that, you know, yeah, right. Because some people don't know how to give.
Yeah.
But I will say this in closing. I'm gonna let you go and let somebody else call in.
Yes, sir.
But right now today, I just think if Jesus was here right now today on the earth as he was back in the Old Testament days and walking the earth, I don't think Jesus would have, I don't know how many square foot mansion, but I definitely don't think he'd have his own airport in the back of his house where he'd land his plane and fly with his plane like Kenneth Copeland. I don't think the Lord will be rolling like that.
But if you can afford it, and that's what God has blessed you with, why should I not have because you don't? If I earned it. If I go to work and I earn $250,000 a year, why shouldn't I live like I have $250,000? Like, why should I hide what I've been blessed with? I gotta walk around like a pauper.
I don't think it's a matter.
Well,
I don't really think it's a matter of hiding, because one preacher said, I won't say his name, but one preacher said, like, the reason why I have my own plane because the Lord don't want me to fly with common folks.
Well, that's a numbskull right there.
Yeah.
But
I guess I look for in ministers. Go ahead.
But the Bible also says, "Touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm."
That's right.
So let God deal with that person.
He gonna take care of you. You got that right.
That's all.
Amen.
It's just simple.
Amen. Well, I'm gonna say this in closing. I'm gone.
Yes, sir.
But I've come to the point. If the Lord said the same, live to see tomorrow. I'll be 66 years old.
Congratulations.
And I've come to the conclusion that in life, thank you, that there's only two type of people in the world: liabilities and assets. So either you're gonna add something to my life, to make it better.
Yep.
Or try to take something from my life to make it. But I gotta love you according to the word of God.
That's right.
So I can love you right next to me, Dr. Ken, or I can love you from across the street.
Right. But I ain't gotta like you.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. I love you, Dr. Ken. Have a great day.
I love you too, brother. Take care. 833-212-1017 is the number. I got Al, I got Winky, I got Joe. I got all these people holding on. Talking text line is blowing up. We'll be right back. 833-212-1017 is the number. What is church to you? And now with 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk Traffic, here is Debbie Lazica.
We got back up to northbound on 43. Pretty solid from Kilbourne all the way up to Keefe. On the southbound side, pocket of heavy traffic from just south of Capitol Drive heading towards Burleigh, and then again from North Avenue down through the Marquette to the KK River. Eastbound 94, watch for backups from just before 84th Street all the way through to the Stadium interchange. Starts to let up right around 35th Street. The westbound side's backed up out of the Marquette pretty much all the way to Hawley Road. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 31. Tomorrow, rain and snow mix with cloudy skies, a high of 41. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazica on 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
For a deal? Well, Cousin Subs has a better deal just for you. Cousin's new $10 meal deals are now available online only. Choose between a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub, a bag of chips or regular fry, a regular fountain beverage, and cookie at cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app for just $10. Now that's a better deal. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Available at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Victory Garden Initiative is an 1.5-acre urban farm that sits right in the middle of the Black community on Richards and Concordia. I don't know if you know that Harambe is a food desert. So within its borders, there are no major grocery stores. So people rely on things like dollar store, corner stores, liquor stores to buy food, which is all unhealthy. Everything we grow, and we grow everything, tomatoes to potatoes to carrots to corn to onions, and so on. And everything we grow is free to the community. It started in 2009. They wanted to build a sustainable food production system that was healthy and sustainable. And what that meant was giving people the resources to grow their own food and the skills to make sure that those attempts were successful.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth, powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The Milwaukee Brewers are back to work out in Colorado tonight. First pitch beginning at 7:40. General Manager Matt Arnold with a busy day on Monday, acquiring pitcher Quinn Priester from the Boston Red Sox, as well as Daz Cameron in a trade with Baltimore. Over to the NBA, where the Milwaukee Bucks are also back at it tonight. They'll take on the Minnesota Timberwolves at Pfizer Forum after serving his 25-game suspension for testing positive for a banned substance. Bucks forward Bobby Portis making his return tonight as well. That tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. And lastly, over to college basketball, where a new champion has been crowned.
And it's over! Florida is back on top of the college basketball world! Championship madness!
Florida making the late comeback over Houston as they win the NCAA championship game 65-63. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You know what makes you beautiful? I'll do anything for you that I've never done before. Don't you know that you're beautiful? I'll do anything for you like I've never loved before. Let me notice your truth right now. Let me into your heart somehow. I'll make you feel beautiful.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tune in to the award-winning 101.7 The Truth Community Spotlight tomorrow. That was today? I don't know. When is it? Because one is crossed out and it say 8 and then 7. So it's a repeating series. Okay. Tune in to what... The award-winning 101.7 The Truth Community Spotlight tomorrow at 11:57 between The Truth with Sherwin Hughes and Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. We'll be joined by Kwabena Collins, diversity recruiter for the city of Milwaukee. We'll discuss their upcoming career City Hall Career and Resource Fair. That's coming on Thursday, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. at City Hall. Find out about the amazing city jobs they offer and the great benefits as well. Again, so that's Community Spotlight tomorrow, 11:57 on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. And if it's not there, just go to City Hall Thursday from 10 a.m. till 200 West Wells, and look at the East Wells, and look at the amazing city jobs they offer and the great benefits they have as well. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Hey, good evening. And first thing I want to say to everybody is follow your faith. For me, I'm not really a big fan of it because from what I saw a lot of faith and a lot of fear. So when I talk to people, I talk from my heart. When I ask them something, the first thing they say, well, God said. I say, well, what do you say? I hear from your heart, not what somebody told you or what the scriptures say. So when I talk to people,
isn't the whole point of having faith is following that if you're a Christian and you follow scripture, then you reference how you live and what you believe and what you do based on scripture. So for you to ask somebody to tell them what they think is a little insulting because you're like stepping on their faith.
Well, I'm not trying to step on their faith.
But that's what you're doing. But that's wait.
Okay,
you say but that's what you're doing.
Okay, well, if it is, my apologies, but it means more when you speak from your heart. Okay, well,
you don't get to tell somebody else how they speak in their heart out. You don't get to judge somebody and tell them, I want to know what you mean, not what
anybody.
You just did. Really?
So, like, prime example, when a person asks me, I said, I'm going to speak to you from my heart.
Okay.
Because this is what I'll say.
Okay.
Not what anybody else say. That's what I say.
Right.
And I tell people, you don't have to be this or that to be a good person. Just do from your heart.
But that's what you believe, Al. What if somebody else believes something different, that they believe that everything that they believe according to Scripture? Who are you to tell somebody what they need to do?
And that is wonderful. But what I'm trying to get people to understand is to be an independent thinker. So when somebody
what makes you think people that go to church are not independent thinkers? Like, why are you piling all this stuff? You just don't like church? Say so.
Well, it doesn't have nothing. Well, it has nothing to do about not liking it.
But that's what it sounds like.
No, it's just well, it might sound like tomatoes, but we're just having a dialogue.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm about independent thinking, and I'm about you believing in yourself.
When you say that, you're inferring that people that believe in Christianity are not independent thinkers. That's insulting to me because I'm a Christian and I'm an independent thinker. You're wrong.
Maybe you. But I'm saying,
Al, really? So you get to bash all Christians, but when one of them challenges you
I'm
say,
not bashing nobody.
Yes, you did. But go ahead. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is when I speak to people, I said, I'm going to tell you what Al said, or they tell me, well, you have to live. No, I don't have to live by nothing. Or they say, well, you have to be obedient. I say the only thing that's obedient is animals, not humans, because you hold the master key to your life, and those copyrights are for you.
And what if they believe that God holds the master key to their life? Then what?
Well, then they can continue to wait all their life.
All right.
But when you look at other groups, they're getting their heaven now. Other people are waiting to death, and that's the problem.
Oh, well, that's your
have a good
problem.
day.
Thank you, sir. Really? Wow. Interesting.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's a big week for Clicks Shoe Store, Milwaukee.
That's right. Clicks is dropping their latest 414-day shoe with Adidas this Saturday. But we'll be doing a special giveaway of these exclusive shoes this Friday, April 11th on Jammin' with Juice and the Tori Lowe Show.
Then on Saturday, April 12th, Truth Nation, Jammin' with Juice will be broadcasting live from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Clicks 414-day shoe launch party.
It's a Clicks big week, so make sure y'all tap in.
It's amazing.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
Hey everybody, it's Melanie Ricks. You all know I love supporting a local team. That's why I'm excited to tell you about UW Credit Union. They've been serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. And when I was in school, they helped me learn how to plan for my future and make my money grow. Even now, they're still always there for me when I have questions, and they'll be there for you too. So stop by any of their 13 Milwaukee area branches or visit uwcu.org to become a UW Credit Union member today, like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Gear up for a great time as Sports Milwaukee hosts Milwaukee Tailgate Week, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Set for April 24th to the 26th, Milwaukee Tailgate Week features a variety of gridiron activations for all ages, steeped in Milwaukee's iconic sports history, brews, restaurants, and venues. As the 2025 draft takes center stage in Green Bay, Sports Milwaukee and the Cream City are excited to welcome the football world to Wisconsin. For tickets, go to visitmilwaukee.org/tailgate. Brought to you by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
Use promo code VISIT for 50% off.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Winky Blue, I got a question for you.
Go ahead, Doc.
Why you always call right before the end of the hour, and then I'm crunched, and then you get mad? When I listen to you call everybody else's show, it's in the middle of this show, 15 minutes after the hour, bottom of the hour. What's up with that, man? Why you always call at the end, argue with me, and then hang up?
Because this is about the time that my occupation comes to an end.
I figured
when I call those other people, usually I'm moving, and I got time to do that. You
be lollygagging during the day, listening to Sherwin. Is that it?
No, I call that cat. It's during break time about 11 o'clock. I call him about 11 o'clock, and he's really frightened of me. He's really afraid of me. He doesn't like the challenge, and I'm like a gnat. He just keeps fanning me away.
That is true.
Because he's really frightened of me. But anyways, that's not why I called. I called about the religious religious aspect of it. Now, one thing you were talking about, the tithing, and I've been on hold that long. The tithing were for the Levites, man, the priests. Okay, they weren't given any land. They didn't have any inheritance. The only inheritance that they had were through priesthood. So they were the priests, and that's what the 10% was given. Now, one thing about white people, I hear people talk about, the Bible is for white people, and all of it. I mean, it was given to us, and it's not ours. Well, white people all across the country, as a matter of fact, around the whole round world, celebrate on Sunday Christianity, white folk, and they bring in millions upon millions of dollars. If we took the little millions that we get in the black church and put them all together, it wouldn't amount to a real huge.
So Winky, so you're actually bashing black people as it relates to what they give in church too?
No, I'm not. I'm finna get to a point. If white folk is following this religion that was supposed to be forced upon us, okay, they're following it by mass amount, and it seems to be working for them, Dr. Ken. Where in the world have we gotten off the train? Why are we giving our religion away? Because if you read the Bible, you'll find that the Cushites, Hamites, the words Ethiopia and Cush and Cushite is mentioned over 700 times in the Bible. Okay, Ethiopia is mentioned about 70 times. The Ethiopians and the Anyways,
you got about a minute.
I just want to say that is,
You got about a minute.
Okay, that's given to the priesthood. And this is one thing I want to say, that the preacher, if he's doing his job, is supposed to counsel our depraved, marry our couples, visit our widows and sick and shut in.
Right.
Christian and our children, then turn around and bury our dead. And anything we do for him, it's a waste. See, black people and I love black folk, man, but we have become saboteurs, and we sabotage everything. When you remove God out of the equation, you remove morality out of it. It's every man for himself. Every man is doing what's right in his own sight, and that's what's happened right now. There's no king in the land. I gotta go, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. 833-212-1017 is the number. I got calls holding. We're gonna get to them after the top of the hour. We got talking text line. I don't even want to know how much they hollering at me. Yep, I got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Top 5 at 5 will be coming up. Calls, talking texts, and of course, Truth Nation.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
April is Financial Literacy Month, and The Truth has you covered on learning how you can best manage your finances. All April on Jammin' with Juice, Ben Jammin and Terry Noni will speak with Nina Johnson, Senior Vice President and Wisconsin Branch Banking Market Leader from U.S. Bank. They will discuss financial strategies and tools they offer their customers to help enhance your financial management skills. Financial Literacy Month on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is sponsored by U.S. Bank.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why am I always falling behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/the-reason to get started.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis. Diesel-burning trucks belch dangerous levels of pollution, and communities living near ports and along freight corridors breathe especially high levels of this dirty air. But this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat, and I work for Earth Justice. I'm working to clean up our air quality, particularly for communities that bear the burden of diesel pollution. For the sake of our lungs, our health, and our climate, the future of trucking in this country has got to be zero emissions. Until then, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Earth Justice is fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. If clean air matters to you, visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. George, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, man, you know what? I just called to apologize. I wasn't acting Christ-like yesterday. I let my frustrations get the best of me, so I just want to call and apologize.
Same here. I apologize to you if I said or did anything that upset you or frustrated you.
It is what it is, Dr. Ken. I just got to learn to control myself better.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me catch up on all the... Yes, I believe... Who is this? Dave said, yes, I believe a lot of churches are there in for the people's money. The 52 years I've been living, born, and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I've never seen a church, preacher, pastor, bishop, evangelist, any of that nature in any neighborhoods helping the poor or the fortunate. You know, a lot of those churches are actually in the neighborhood of the poor and the unfortunate, number one. Number two, we don't trust. So it's hard to come give people stuff that we don't and we don't trust, right? The other flip side to that is that people expect everything for free, that they might just clean you out and take everything because sometimes, right? So we all have like those misgivings, right? However, you have to do what's right because it's the right thing to do. And that means you give even when you don't get anything back. You help even though you don't get a thank you. And that's that. Miles said, you have to admit there are some sketchy churches out there with questionable spending habits, buying jets for the leaders. If you can afford, okay, first of all, you can't take how you feel and how much money you have, equate it to something else, and then say they shouldn't do that. That's like telling somebody they shouldn't be a millionaire. You shouldn't have $1 million. Why? Because you can't get $1 million. Well, you didn't work as hard as they did, right? If you think of the source of your income, many of the companies that you work for have a history of supporting slavery. I never heard you say anything about that. Insured plantations, insured slaves, so that if they ran away or something happened, they could make money because you were a commodity. I don't see you complaining about that. But anyway, Mari said, Dr. Ken, I'm so interested to hear your opinion about the Trump supporter who is black, whom Sherwin had on his show yesterday. Or am I really late and you talked to him about it yesterday? I so want to know your feelings about how he thinks about history and his own family experiences with racism. Honestly, I didn't hear it. His experiences are his. I'm not going to bash someone else's experience because their experience is theirs and mine is mine. And so I want to make sure that people understand that their experience is what makes them, and how they see in the lens they look at the world through is their lens. You can't bash somebody else's lens because it's different. Many times, people that don't like church don't like it for a reason, in my experience. And they don't like it because what? Because something happened to them. I'm just saying. SJB says, to play devil's advocate, born and raised in Seattle, I can guarantee you there are some churches in Seattle and Greater Seattle that have ATMs. I never said they didn't. I'm just saying the ones I've been in, they haven't. But okay, I got it. I've also been multiple states, including some you mentioned, and yeah, I've seen a cash machine. An example, Christian Faith Center in Federal Way has multiple locations. Okay, but here's my question: is there something wrong with a cash machine? Like, you will literally go to a cash machine to buy cigarettes or liquor, but you get mad at Christian folk or any religious person who gets cash to give to their church. Like, that's just weird to me. Anyway, I can't think of the church I attended in Hampton Roads, but an ATM was there as well. A recently seen option for using your credit card. I don't mind convenience, but wanted to point that out. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I have the, like, I just argued that where places I've been, I haven't seen cash machines. But if there is, so what? Like what does that even mean? Right? Dave said, first of all, he's insulting God, the one who gave him breath through his nostrils. And then Melody said, money given to the churches of Potawatomi and the liquor store caused more devastation to our society than organized religion's voluntary offerings. Wow. Anybody want to trump that? And I used the word intentionally, trump that. 833-212-1017 is the number.
Number 5.
From WISN.com, a teacher's aide was arrested on child pornography allegations. Now, here's what disturbs me. This is what disturbs me. And I hope, let me read it through. Let me just make sure. An official at the Milwaukee Jewish Community Center said yesterday, that police arrested a daycare teacher's aide on Friday on suspicion of possession of child pornography. JCC, Jewish Community Center, CEO Mark Shapiro wrote in a letter to families, this is an extremely disturbing and serious issue that we take very seriously. The aide, Nicholas Otero, was charged Tuesday, today. Now, the story I had earlier, he had not been charged. Now he's been charged, and that's why I'm reading this. Earlier, they released a story, and he hadn't been charged. And I found that odd. I found it bizarre because we don't usually put people's face and name on the air. Well, people that are not black on the air and say that they did something. Well, but there was already a picture because he'd been arrested before. That's not a good reason to put somebody's picture online when they haven't been charged. So he's been charged 3 counts of possession of child pornography. According to the criminal complaint, Otero admitted to viewing and sharing child pornography online. Shapiro, in an interview with WISN 12 News last night, said it's been a rough day. The letter said the person was in custody, was not charged with creating any child pornography. And as of this time, we've been told there are no pictures or images of any children or staff in our program. According to the JCC, Otero's been suspended without pay. Shapiro said if the employee is found guilty of allegations, he would be terminated permanently. That is the way that you do a release. That's the way that you give information. You wait until the court does what they do, and then you do what you do. Not to mention the person is still innocent until proven guilty.
Number 4.
This from WISN.com. I have issues with this. Sometimes we write stories online for clickbait. And that it's unfortunate that people don't understand. I'm not going to use the word common law, but basic law. Headline by Hannah Hilliard says, Milwaukee County, well, it says ICE agents make arrests inside Milwaukee County Courthouse complex. Is that allowed? Milwaukee County leaders want to get to the bottom of ICE agents arresting people inside the courthouse complex. Here's what people don't understand, and this is the disconnect that people have, right? So let me get to the story. Immigration agents recently made 2 arrests inside Milwaukee County Courthouse complex. That's according to Chief Judge Carl Ashley, who released the information publicly last week. One arrest on March 20th. He said the second was the following day. It's a hot-button issue drawing harsh criticism from Milwaukee leaders. My immediate reaction is fear and danger, says Daisy Espana from Voices de la Frontera. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, known as ICE, has yet to confirm the arrest WISN 12 has asked. But right now, it's unclear who the 2 people detained are, why they were in the courthouse. And I think that has subsequently been released, and their names have been released. Judge Ashley says they happened in the hallway, and they're still researching if any violated court policy. David Crowley says it doesn't appear to violate policy. You know why? Because it's a public building. So here's what people need to understand about the law. The courtroom, in and out of session, is the judge's space. If you were going to go to a small country, a courtroom would be a small country. You need a visa to get in. You need a visa to get out. You might leave of your own volition, or you might leave with a deputy. But a law enforcement officer cannot take anybody into custody inside a court. And it may differ whether court's in session or not. But by and large, you don't do anything in court without the permission of the judge. You cannot be arrested in a court by a law enforcement officer. If somebody acts a fool, the judge will say, bailiff, deputies, hey, officer, take that person into custody. That is an order from a judge, just like if it's a warrant for your arrest. If it's a search warrant to search your house, the judge said it, make it so. Outside, right, because the public can go in and out of that building at will. They can go in and out anytime they want. People go into police stations, and if they don't cause trouble and they're homeless and they're sleepy and it's cold or it's raining outside, guess what? You can chill. As long as you don't bother anybody, you can chill at the police station. And they're not going to throw you out. Why? Because it's a public building. Like, that's it. Spokesperson sent a note to WISN 12. The Milwaukee County Courthouse is a public building where people regularly come to conduct business. This includes law enforcement officials representing local, state, and federal agencies. With this in mind, we don't believe a courthouse complex policy was violated last week. The sheriff's office was told they were going to make the arrest, but not the second one. The sheriffs didn't participate in the arrest. Why? Because they're not deputized to enforce federal law. It's kind of simple. It's kind of straightforward. Your common sense thinking of law, it's not correct. And so too many people assume too many things, and then they decide they want to, well, this is wrong. Well, it's really not wrong. And then they get everybody jazzed up when, in fact, they're operating within the law, within the rules and procedures and policies. And as soon as people understand that, you won't get so upset when you see somebody do something and they're doing it legally.
Number 3.
From CBS 58, a group of affiliated companies has agreed to pay to resolve allegations that they improperly obtained COVID-19 relief funds through the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP. The U.S. Department of Justice, U.S. Attorney's Office, Eastern District of Wisconsin, they announced last week, April 2nd, that the companies controlled by a family business were accused of violating the False Claims Act by submitting false eligibility certifications. Federal officials aligned the group the group received more than $5 million in loans despite collectively employing more than 500 people, exceeding eligibility limits. The business, including Barrington Venture Holding Company, the club at Strawberry Creek, the Garlands at Barrington, Nuestro Queso, SSCO, and Tire Profile. Settlement resolves civil claims without a determination of legal liability, and the companies do not admit wrongdoing as a part of the agreement. How much you think they paid? How about $10.85 million? You took 5, and then you got to pay back 10.85. Is that even worth it? Like, would you do that? Well, let me see. If I do this, I'm going to get in trouble. And on top of that, I got to pay back over double what I got. Nancy Reagan had it right. She said, just say no.
Number 2.
From CNN Business, President Donald Trump is set to impose an astonishing 104% in levies across Chinese imports on tomorrow. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt announced on today. This comes on top of Chinese tariffs that were already in place prior to Trump's second term. China was already set to see tariffs increase by 34% on tomorrow as part of Trump's reciprocal tariffs package. So we pay a 34% tariff. So we were going to give them a 34% tariff. But then the president tacked on another 50% after Beijing didn't back off its promise to impose 34% retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods by noon today. That's adding an additional 84%, which means if you bought something on Temu that costs $100, it's going to be $200 and some change. Well, earlier today, China's Commerce Ministry said it firmly opposes the additional 50% tariff on Chinese imports, calling it a mistake upon a mistake. The ministry vowed to escalate its retaliation on U.S. exporters. U.S. stocks soared this morning and then leveled off, and then they went completely down. Trump initially imposed a 10% tariff on all Chinese goods in February with no exceptions, tying it to the country's alleged role in aiding illegal immigration and getting fentanyl into the U.S. Last month, he doubled those rates, and now it's up to 104%. So we shall see. Will people here start making those things here instead of there? And I wonder what the price point's going to be that people will actually pay. Like right now, they did something with energy, and so now the cost of energy will probably go down precipitously because they opened up the ability to make more energy here in America, which means we don't have to ship it in and it'll be cheaper. So prices should go down to $2 something in the next, 4 to 6 weeks, if not sooner. So we'll see. We will see. We're waiting. Because if it don't work, you ain't got to worry about throwing a bum out. He's done in 4 years.
Number 1.
From thegrio.com. So I'm supportive, but I'm not supportive. And here's why. Former Representative Barbara Lee seeks to make Black her story in Oakland mayoral run, vows to resist Trump. Lee told the Grio that she's concerned about Black and brown communities being used as pawns in the Trump administration's playbook. Issue I have, number 1. Why do we always mention Brown, but Brown never mentions us? Okay, let me move on. After serving nearly 30 years in the United States Congress, former U.S. Representative Barbara Lee is seeking public office again with her campaign to be elected mayor of Oakland. Though she has seen many, and I'm skipping some stuff, many historical moments up close as a U.S. Congresswoman, she could literally make history during next week's special election on April 15th. And if elected by residents in a crowded contest, the Democrat would become the first Black woman to serve as mayor of Oakland. So how do you feel about that? Well, she wrote, the perspective and the background of, she said, of Black women and Black people in general is extremely important, she told the Griot during a recent interview. It wouldn't be the first time that Lee has made history. In 1998, she was the first Black woman elected to represent her California district. Being the only Black person north of Los Angeles for 27 years, you know, my lens and my perspective was pretty unique. Now, when you hear this, you hear that she always had experience resisting Trump. It's a feature she'd argue will come in handy as the Trump administration is threatened to withhold federal funding and on and on. And I get it, along with the backlash of, you know, diversity, equity, inclusion programs and education, health, housing, all that stuff. I get it. I'm perfectly for it. But the second line of this story said, though Lee, 78. Is that too old for a mayor? Let's remove race. Let's remove gender. 78 years old running for mayor. I got issues with Trump and Biden running for president when they're in their late 70s, approaching 80 years old. It's ridiculous. So you just spent 30 years in Congress, and now you turn around and want to run for mayor? At 78? Am I being mean, or is that just too old? Now I'm in my 60s. I ain't running for nothing. Watch this. If I get something, somebody appointed me. Hey, we're going to appoint you. Thank you. A public office, you'd have to appoint me to the office because I ain't running. Unless I know I'm the only one that's going to win. Because that means I'm the only one in the race. Like, that's a lot of work. That's a lot. Didn't you just spend 30 years? 30. What are you doing? Like, what is it about public officials that don't know how to sit down? And then we complain, well, young people don't want to step up and young people don't. Well, get out of the way. Get out of the way. I don't know. I'm just speaking truth to power.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's Kyle Wallace, host of Truth to Power on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, and I want you to tune in every day from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. as I engage in a community conversation I know you want to hear. From topics like our property tax bill price hike, which I know had us all shaking our heads, to the incredible MPS students getting millions of dollars worth of scholarships to pursue their dreams, I have you covered, Milwaukee. So tune in to Truth to Power every day from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Gear up for a great time as Sports Milwaukee hosts Milwaukee Tailgate Week, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Set for April 24th to the 26th, Milwaukee Tailgate Week features a variety of gridiron activations for all ages, steeped in Milwaukee's iconic sports history, brews, restaurants, and venues. As the 2025 draft takes center stage in Green Bay, Sports Milwaukee and the Cream City are excited to welcome the football world to Wisconsin. For tickets, go to visitmilwaukee.org/tailgate. Brought to you by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
Use promo code VISIT for 50% off. This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So, Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do. But I don't want that to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute. This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Calling all Black-owned business owners, entrepreneurs. Are you looking to share your story and grow your reach? We have teamed up with Associated Bank and our Black-owned business Give Back. Each quarter, 4 lucky business owners will win an opportunity to spotlight their brand and journey on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. So to sign up for your business spotlight interviews, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback, all one word, .com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC. 833-212-1017 is the number. All right, so what we talking about? We've been talking about the Black church. We've been talking about, let's talk about something different. I got a question. I got a question. So, TheRoot.com had a story about your girl. And I want to talk to y'all that's been a part of the Beehive, with Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? All right. So there's an article that says, girl, bye. Beyonce's Beehive drag her for her overpriced Cowboy Carter tickets, perfume, and then it just kind of went on and on. While Beyonce is known to get more than her fair share of money from her fans, some online are calling her out on her prices and saying enough is enough. So whether you realize it or not, the end of April marks the beginning of Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour. But fans are not saddling up to, showing her love and thanks to the ticket prices and other products she's dropped over the last few months. And now they're talking about it. As evidence in a newly surfaced video on TikTok, Beehive members and those adjacent fans are crying foul at having to shell out big money to partake in what Queen Bee has to offer. Take, for example, Bey's latest perfume drop that she announced back in February. C'est Lumière. That was the second perfume to drop, and it came out just after she won the Grammy Album of the Year. It was also the second thing she was hitting her fans' pockets for, as she just kept announcing the aforementioned tour was happening less than 2 weeks prior. And let's also remember that she announced in February that her brand new hair care line, I don't know how to say it, C-E-C-R-E-D, Secret or Sacred, would be hitting the shelves at Ulta in the coming months. And that's another hit to the pocketbook. So, because of the timing, fans were quick to be like, hey, what you doing? Because it was hitting their pockets that heavy. But see, the problem is, What's the price? Like, what's the price of the tickets? Can anybody tell me? Can somebody look up what the price of, well, you know, that's why I got the internet. What are the Cowboy Carter tickets going for? And this, what's the name of this? Let me look this up. Yeah, check out the prices of those, and I'm gonna check out the C'est Luminaire cost. I don't even know if I want to hit enter because I'm afraid to. Okay, we're done. All right. Cowboy Carter tickets. Like, what's they cheapest ticket?
I'm seeing $51, $45. They don't seem expensive.
$51 or $45? Okay. But, you know, the Beehive won't seats. They don't want, like, oh, look at Beyonce. Is she that big? Right? I hear the music, but I see the little ant down there singing. They don't want those seats. Those are the nosebleed seats in the back in the corner behind the pole where you can say, did you go to the concert? Yes, I went to the concert. Did you see Beyonce? I heard Beyonce. Right? So, but if you look up Cowboy Carter tickets, let's see. At the Inglewood, live in Los Angeles. Let's see what the pricing is. Let's see. This is all parking. I don't want parking. Okay, I want tickets. Let's find some tickets. Soldier Field, Chicago. So yeah, that's close. That's close. Looks like the grandstand is $67. Here's the problem. I've scrolled with my finger 9 times, and I haven't gotten to the end of how much the tickets cost. And I'm still scrolling. And we're scrolling. And we're scrolling. And we're oh, Lord, have mercy. What? Are you kidding? Wow. Okay. I'm in the $134 a ticket range, which sounds a little low, but it's still going. And that's because the price of the tickets at Soldier Field in Chicago, May 15th at 7 o'clock for Beyonce, the tickets start at $64 and they go in excess of $1,740. Now, I don't know where I'm going to sit for $1,740, but Beyonce should probably be either I'm sitting on her lap or she's sitting on mine. If you're in the orchestra pit, which means you could what? Look up her dress? Is she wearing a dress? She rarely wears a dress. Okay, I'm joking. The orchestra pit, $5,000. Wow. You know what I'm going to tell everybody not to buy me for Christmas or for my birthday? Cowboy Carter tickets. And now on 101.7 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk Traffic, here's Debbie Lazaga.
Northbound on 43, backing up, heading through the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. Southbound slows down from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette and over the high-rise. Back on the brakes from Lapham all the way down to Howard Avenue. Westbound 94, very heavy ride starting around 2nd Street all the way through to about Hawley Road. Eastbound is backing up from just before 84th Street all the way through to 35th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 31. Tomorrow, rain-snow mix with cloudy conditions, a high of 41. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe loyalty is never a one-way street, so we love finding new ways to say thank you to our customers. This is why we're hosting Us Days again. It's our exclusive in-store event to celebrate you, our loyal customers, with unique offers for everyone. Visit our stores during Us Days until April 23rd to take advantage of offers up to $1,200 off of any smartphone and up to $500 off of any tablet. This is the perfect time to upgrade. Come into any U.S. Cellular store for more details. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
This message is sponsored by WISCaregiver.com. Now is the time to start a meaningful career as a caregiver. Make a real difference in people's lives. WISCaregiver.com gives you 2 great options for free. Train for the in-demand caregiver workforce as a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or become a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. All training is free. Plus, you can earn a $500 bonus. Learn more. Visit WISCaregiver.com.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Carrie Noni with her truth.
You know, sometimes the mundane isn't a burden, it's the beauty of living. I came to this conclusion after recently watching the movie Subservience on Netflix. It's a crazy film, y'all. I would suggest you check it out. But it's a story that explores our relationship with technology and how it's programmed to take our burdens away. This movie really got me thinking about how much we're wired to avoid struggle. We create tools and shortcuts to make life easier, whether it's robots, apps, or even outsourcing everyday tasks. But in the process, we risk forgetting the value of the little things we go through every day. Sure, folding laundry or grocery shopping might feel like chores. I literally dread cleaning up. But isn't there something grounding about them? Something that reminds us we're human. Life isn't just about the highlights or the easy parts. It's about the messy, repetitive, and sometimes inconvenient stuff too. Think about it. Who would you be if you didn't have to face the small frustrations that test your patience, or the routines that push you to show up for yourself or the people around you? The mundane moments, the ones we rush to escape, are often the ones that shape us. If life was nothing but convenience, where's the growth? Where's the grit that teaches us resilience? And most importantly, where's the appreciation for the moments that do take our breath away? So maybe the next time you find yourself annoyed by the daily grind and are on the brink of crashing out, you pause, you breathe, and remind yourself that the beauty of life isn't just in the big moments, but in every little thing that makes them possible.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneib. The Milwaukee Brewers are back to work out in Colorado tonight. First pitch beginning at 7:40. General Manager Matt Arnold with a busy day on Monday, acquiring pitcher Quinn Priester from the Boston Red Sox, as well as Daz Cameron in a trade with Baltimore. Over to the NBA, where the Milwaukee Bucks are also back at it tonight. They'll take on the Minnesota Timberwolves at Pfizer Forum after serving his 25-game suspension for testing positive for a banned substance. Bucks forward Bobby Portis making his return tonight as well. That tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. And lastly, over to college basketball, where a new champion has been crowned. Florida making the late comeback over Houston as they win the NCAA championship game 65-63. This Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Hey, want to remind y'all, Truth Nation, 4th annual Tory Low Community Cleanup is Saturday, April 12th, 8 a.m. to 12. We want you to be there. Go to truthcommunitycleanup.com to sign up to volunteer to help keep Milwaukee clean. Everyone who registers for the last cleanup site will get a free lunch provided by Cousin Subs. Register today at truthcommunitycleanup.com to clean and beautify our city together. The Tory Lowe Community Cleanup is this Saturday, again, 8 to 12, presented by 1MKE. We are 1MKE and sponsored by Cousin Sub, U.S. Cellular, Landmark Credit Union, Ray's Coca-Cola, and Waste Management. 833-212-1017 is the number. So I got a couple questions for y'all, and before I do all this stuff, let me check the talking text line and YouTube chat. I ain't checked in a while. Money given to churches of Potawatomi. Okay, I read that. Carolyn said, hey, I asked my church to set of Zelle so I could pay my tithe when I'm out of town. I feel you. I'm just lazy. Like, seriously, I'm literally lazy. Like, I'm like, if you can, and see, here's the weird thing. If you can remove all the friction to giving, like having to stand there and sit there and wait for the bucket to get passed and all, if I can just give electronically, one, I instantly have a record. Two, I know where it went. And I can do it in like 10 seconds. Let me see. I don't argue with no basic B's. I just raise my price. Anyway, I can't afford a Beyonce. I love you, though. SE said, also, I use Pattern Beauty. So there, that is that. Shout out to Tracy Ellis Ross. Beehive or Queen Bee? Well, all right, Tracy Ross. Not really a city girl said, Beyonce hair care line is called Sacred. Yeah, I kind of figured that out. I said C-E-R-E-D, cred. Oh, it's sacred. Just spell it sacred. Goodness. Goodness. So at some point, I think it might be a little too much. I can't think of anybody in the world that I would go see in a concert for $5,000 if I had $5,000 to burn. I wouldn't pay $500 to go see somebody in concert. That's just me. Like, I don't know if I want, especially when I click Spotify and listen to your music, I'm not really feeling it. And somebody got a live album out there somewhere, so if you want to hear live music, like, it's just, and I like concerts. I like going to concerts, being at concerts, like baseball. Football games, not so much. Baseball, all stuff like that. I like it. That, nah, that's not happening. It's not. And I have no qualm with it at all. You're listening to 1017 The Truth. The caller, what's going on?
Contrary to my text, which is regards to, if you heard about the $1 million that idiots paid to have dinner with,
Don't call people idiots.
Won the election.
Don't call people idiots.
Well, okay.
They made a choice just like you made a choice.
Well, the people who, in my opinion, are idiots. Is that better?
No, but go ahead.
Well, $1 million to have dinner with him, or $5,000. I wouldn't spend $5,000 to see anybody either. I agree with you there. I think the most expensive ticket I ever purchased was to see Prince, and that was so long ago that the tickets were not nearly in the thousands and that kind of thing.
Okay.
But Beyonce is going to get her price, and that the numbers that you wrote, I don't know why that publication would even, talk about a few people posting that the tickets were more expensive, a little more expensive than they were probably the last time they saw her. She's elevating, and so with that, her price, is going to go up, and, it's to be expected.
What is she elevating to, though? Like, where exactly is she going?
To icon status, brothers,
She's already there. But she's already there.
Well, I'm just going with what Dionne, I agree with you there. Dionne Warwick says she's not. She's an expert at what an icon is. In her opinion,
you're right.
I'm just pretending that, pretending that her being an elder and,
Yeah, because she's not. You're right.
Type of thing.
You're right.
You don't think Beyonce has reached icon status yet?
No, I don't think she. Based on what you just told me, no. Name recognition is not icon.
Name 3 people who you would. No, I'm not saying name recognition. I'm just saying with what she's achieved in her career. I would put her on that list. I guess my list is much longer than Dionne Warwick, and I understand why that is. But give me 3 people who you would say are icons.
Three black people that are icons in what era?
3 lady entertainers who are icons.
Let me see who's reached icon status. I would say she just passed away, Roberta Flack.
Okay.
You got to give me that one. Aretha Franklin. Yes or no?
Well, definitely Aretha, yes.
Well, but I'm just saying. You said give you 3. So that's Roberta Flack.
I mean, that Aretha is universal.
And, well, I'm just,
I would
you asked me, and I'm just, Roberta, Aretha Franklin, she black, and Gladys Knight.
Gladys. Oh, yes. So I would go, if I named 3, I would go Shaka, Gladys.
Yep.
And since you named Aretha, I'm not going to name Aretha and Diana Ross.
But they're more than 3. They're like 10 or 15.
Yeah. My list is much longer probably than 15. I would put Toni Braxton and Mary J. Blige.
I wouldn't put Toni Braxton.
For many different reasons.
But I don't think Toni Braxton is old enough.
Toni Braxton's almost 60 years old, though.
So? I don't think
well, how old do you have to be?
I would say 75, 80. Nope. I would say 75, 80. Like Gladys Knight could walk out in her 80s or 90s, and somebody say, hey, like a Smokey Robinson, and say, I'm doing a concert and sell the thing out.
Yeah. And
if Diana Ross did it, sell it out. Give me one before I go to break.
I'll give you one more, and I'll tell you why. Janet Jackson, to me, is like a girl version of her big brother in so many ways. And the reason why I believe Beyonce is the comparison I draw to her. To sing and dance the way they do at the same time. I don't know if you've ever tried it, Doc.
Yes, I have.
But the degree of difficulty in that. I'd like to. Is there any video of that? I'd like to see that.
No, there's no video because it was back in the
before
80s.
Video.
Yeah, but it wasn't before video. It was before smartphones.
Did you have on stacks, brother?
No.
Oh, you said 80, so you didn't.
80. So come on, get your decades together.
And you won the Jerry Curl guy, so yeah.
All right. So.
All right, man. Well, yeah, that's my list.
All right, take care,
brother.
Have
a good drive safe.
All right.
Drive safe.
833-212-1017 is the number. We got another icon coming up as a caller after this.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Brewers baseball is the sound of summer in Milwaukee. And now you can catch the Brewers on local TV for select Tuesday night games.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she
goes! It's Brew Crew Tuesdays. On April 15th, the Crew take on the Detroit Tigers at 6:40 p.m.
Half swing. He went. Another strikeout for Freddie Peralta.
This Brew Crew Tuesday is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. See the action on Fox 6 in Milwaukee and check your local listings for where you can watch over the air statewide on April 15th.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins is bringing back their famous 2-foot party subs. Whether it's for a big game, family gathering, or work celebration, Cousins 2-foot party sub is sure to be a crowd pleaser. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99, feeds 5 to 8 people, and requires 24-hour notice to order. Order today through April 27th in store, online, or on their app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
The Alpha Phi Alpha, Delta Chi Lambda, 7 Jewels Foundation Incorporated has supported over 125 young men through the Young Gentleman's Scholarship Botillion. We're asking for your support to help continue this important work and empower the next generation of leaders. Through this program, young men receive mentorship, personal development, and scholarships to achieve their dreams. We need your help to raise over $20,000 in scholarships, including a $5,000 grand prize. Call 414-364-2835 to make a difference today. Support the Botillion, invest in the the future of our young men.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Bike crash? Call Gruber's offices. One call, that's all.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. He plays the one person that's not on my list. Whitney Houston. Sandra, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hi.
It's the icon. The Truth Nation icon.
I heard you say that. I'm glad I'm an icon, and I don't know what I can contribute, but a few words. But
that's what counts.
It's okay.
That's what counts.
It's okay. Yeah. So I heard you speaking about church and Beyonce and the ticket costs, and I think Diana Ross won a lot of money too for a concert, and the people didn't go, so I think she canceled. Yeah. But, no, I guess you better get it while she can, because she's getting up in age a little bit, too, Beyonce. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's
so
not there.
That's what I had to say.
She ain't there.
Well, she's touching 40, isn't she?
She's not an icon at 40. You're not an icon at 50. I'm sorry.
She may not be an icon. I'm just saying she got to get it while she can, because she's getting up in age.
Absolutely.
And you're going to be doing all of that bouncing your body and whatever like that. Yeah.
Mary J. Blige is on her way there. She'll get there in a second.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right. But she's been out for a good while, too.
Yep.
Yeah, Mary J. But, yeah, you were speaking of the churches and stuff, and I said, I was thinking about at the days. I don't go like I should, but at the days we had to go. You had to go to church.
Right.
And so I had to end up stopping. And the reason I had to stop going to church because I got pregnant. And then I was only 17.
Okay.
So that was my son, the one that passed away. Mm-hmm. And so I went to Pentecostal church. So going to Pentecostal, it's kind of like you're sinning, and it's an embarrassment. So I didn't have to go no more.
Okay.
So we was made to go, so it don't bother me, because by me having to go so much, it don't bother me because I don't go as often as I should. And so, so I was just saying, and then a lot of times when I talk to people, and something go down or something, like I said with the shootings and this and that, and there's always thoughts and prayers. And then I think about the people that's out there as trying to march for us to excel and this and that, and the things we came across, like the DEI and all that stuff. Right. So we have people to march for that.
Right.
So I think as much as people say, I'm going to pray, and they really sit there and they say, I'm just going to pray about it, that don't mean that's going to solve the problem.
Well, you don't know that.
I know that it happened.
Well, that's you.
They got rid of DEI. They got rid of a lot of things we have gained. So I'm going to sit back and pray and don't put no action into it.
Sometimes you take action, sometimes you pray. Sometimes you take action, sometimes you pray. Some people agree, some people disagree.
We need more people. Just as much as they pray, we need more people to take action. They should. Because to me, it's not right. Like Tori always say, I'm going out here, come out here and get out here with me. Okay. Like he always say, he wants us to come
and so nothing has changed. Nothing has happened. We've lost all these things, and we've been marching and walking and complaining and rioting and all that. And what did we get for it? And I'm being facetious when I say that, but what did we get for it?
The thing is, we dropped our educational value here.
Yes, we did.
We should have been learning educational value about politics. Because like I said, I've never studied
Just
politics.
education, period. Just education, period.
Yeah. Right. So that's what I'm seeing. And now to me, it's hard to reach the older kids, so I think we have to start from scratch.
All right.
Get our babies.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, man.
Okay, I might call you pop off. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Dr. Ken.
Bye.
Okay.
833-212-1017 is the number. You know, there are times in life when life tosses a curveball and you got to readjust and realign and rededicate your resources to make things better. I remember going through it. I don't know if I told that, like in the 1990s. My mother passed away, and I had 2 houses I had to deal with and 2 sets of everything, and it was crazy. You know, sometimes you may know what to do, but many times it's the first time you've ever experienced an issue, and especially when it's financial. So for the past couple of decades, I've been able to turn to Educators Credit Union. I've had a financial issue that involved another family member, and I was able to go in and get advice and work out a plan. And I'm here to tell you that it worked. There's nothing like having someone in your life who passes away, and then you have to deal with all of the stuff you have to deal with all within a matter of days. You need a plan. And so I went in and I sat down, and clearly they had dealt with it before. Why is that? Because educators, our members, are our purpose. When you remember, it's our credit union, not the credit union. And as a credit union, we're not concerned about profits or the bottom line of shareholders. Our greatest reward is you achieving your financial dreams through lower rates and access to free financial resources, which is exactly what I got. So experience more heart, less hassle by making the switch today. Achieve more like me at ECU.com, insured by NCUA, membership eligibility required. What that mean? That mean that Ray and them can't just roll up and get an account. I'm just saying. You got to kind of like have a job. And if you're not prepared to do things, then they can actually give you the resources that'll teach you how to actually do and take care of stuff. And you can end up where I ended up, on 1017 The Truth. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it works out great. I've always loved credit unions. If I do bank at a bank, it'll be a black bank. Stuff like that, to make sure I support the community that I live in. For me, it started at Educators. I'm just saying. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe's show is coming up next, and have a great evening. It's been a wonderful evening. Thank you to everyone who called. Thank you, George, for apologizing, and I apologize to him as well. And we'll keep listening and keep going and keep moving and all sorts of things. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate you. God bless. Take care. Hey, I'll see you in 22 hours, God willing. I'm out.
April is Financial Literacy Month, and The Truth has you covered on learning how you can best manage your finances. All April on Jammin' with Juice, Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni will speak with Nina Johnson, Senior Vice President and Wisconsin Branch Banking Market Leader from U.S. Bank. They will discuss financial strategies and tools they offer their customers to help enhance your financial management skills. Financial Literacy Month on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is sponsored by U.S. Bank.
It's a big week for Clicks Shoe Store, Milwaukee.
That's right. Clicks is dropping their latest 414-day shoe with Adidas this Saturday. But we'll be doing a special giveaway of these exclusive shoes this Friday, April 11th on Jammin' with Juice and the Tori Lowe Show.
Then on Saturday, April 12th, Truth Nation, Jammin' with Juice will be broadcasting live from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Clicks' 414-day shoe launch party.
It's a Clicks big week, so make sure y'all tap in.
It's amazing.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why am I always falling behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/thereason to get started.